Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Lomiko Metals channel. We're sitting here once again with Paul, and we just wanted to touch on some recent industry updates today. Paul, how are you doing?
Doing great. Thanks, Michael.
Good, good. Glad to have you back. And now this is a really interesting one because this plays completely into your guys' field. There was an article coming out, and this was going pretty in depth, but it was talking about the graphite demand set to skyrocket because of the auto industry, which is not the only industry really picking it up, but it is one that's going to be humongous. I'm going to hand the reins to you. Tell us more.
Yeah, I think the big issue here is tying down future supply of materials for building cars, building lithium-ion batteries, using it in various different parts of the automobile. And I think there's a couple of factors that are going on here. First of all, we know that a lot of the graphite in China, the graphite is not being produced anymore in China, but it's being produced massively in Africa, in Sri Lanka, and places like that. All of that material, and including in Australia, had been going into China, and they've been creating these lithium-ion battery factories that soak up all of this material and then sell a finished product to a Tesla or someone else. And there's big companies like CATL, and other ones like that that are all set up in China. Now, interestingly enough, what's happened now is China and Australia are in a bit of a trade war. So what you're going to see is that some of that supply that's going into China not being there, so they're going to have to look elsewhere for that material.
Yeah.
And so things get interesting then. Well, where are they going to go? Well, they're going to have to go to Canada. They're going to have to go to other locations, maybe buy projects and stuff like that. But automatically, it sets up a price increase. And we've already seen that happen in lithium and what can happen in 2018 when there's a supply crunch and then the lithium price just took off. We're
Mm.
expecting to see that particular situation potentially happen with graphite.
Yeah. Do you think this is going to turn into like a history repeating itself type thing where North America, for instance, we weren't really at the helm of oil production there for a while, and once we established the infrastructure, we really kind of became a larger player as a whole. Do you think that same thing can happen with graphite? Do we have the potential to really like put ourselves on the map for graphite production?
Yeah, and I think the people who are heading that, in fact, the same individual that was heading that is Lisa Murkowski from the senator from Alaska that has been sort of the focal point of a lot of those resource arguments, and really they did a good job at creating in the early or the mid 2000s oils and gas energy strategy, which turned America from being a importer of oil into an exporter of oil. And I think they're going to do the same thing on rare earths and other critical elements. And there's 35 identified critical elements. There is a deal in place between Canada and the US right now, a critical minerals collaboration plan. And we've been seeing seminars and webinars being set up by institutions, the Department of Energy, Resources Canada, and others that are trying to create those linkages between companies and end users of the product. And so I think we're really going to see something interesting happen here. And Canada, and especially Quebec, is in a perfect spot. And we happen to be in Quebec. So I think things are going to be very interesting for us going forward in getting attention of potential OEMs and EV manufacturers.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like the people actually acquiring and mining the graphite are not going to have any difficulty in getting rid of it once they got it, right? It seems like the industry, as I said, it's going to skyrocket. There's always going to be a buyer for it pretty much starting soon, and the prices are going to go up because there's just not going to be enough supply on the market for a decent amount of time to keep up with the demand in the increase in technology going into automotives and such.
Well, then just think about this. There's 200 mega factories that are out there currently, 200 of them. Each one of those would require at least one or even a half a mine, say. There's not more than 50 mines at present in all of the world. And some of those aren't in the electric vehicle industry. So those mega factories are specifically in the electric vehicle industry, and that could be e-bikes,
Mhm.
scooters, electric vehicles, lithium-ion batteries for phones or whatever, but they're all being consumed in that particular industry. So we're going to need in North America about 15 new mines to be
Wow.
developed to supply just North America. And then worldwide, we're going to see a number of other mines that are going to have to supply areas in the rest of the world. So there's going to be a big demand increase. And so if we have an opportunity to sell our product to the highest bidder, we're going to do very well.
Agreed, agreed. You guys heard it here first. Graphite pencil is going to be going for $100 a pencil. It's sometimes,
Yeah, start grinding them down right now.
yeah. Start melting the graphite out of them. Burn off the wood. Do what you got to do. Graphite's looking good for the future. All right, Paul. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and insight. Any last words before we go?
No, I think the main thing is don't start burning your pencils. That's not the right type of graphite. We use flake graphite
Ah,
for
dang.
the lithium-ion batteries, and it's pretty rare compared to the normal lead pencil graphite.
All right. Well, there went my business plan. But thank you, Paul, for coming on. If anyone has any questions about any of this, please send them over. We'll be happy to answer them for you. Paul, have a wonderful day.
You too. Thanks.